All right, we are live. Hello and welcome back to the Pullover podcast. I'm your host, Quite, and today's guest is Joe Parris from KTVB News. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I am doing absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for having me on this beautiful Friday.
All right, so I'm aware that a lot of people probably might not know who you are. So why don't you just kind of introduce what you do, what you do.
Why am I here? If anyone knows who I am, I will be shocked because who am I? I am a local TV reporter in Boise, Idaho. And I guess my claim to fame is got a little bit of traction, I guess, last year. After I got verified on Twitter, and I love to meme, part of the memeverse. And I just started getting a little cult following on Twitter from all the memers. And that's, I guess, how we connected. Is I'm just a regular local boring news reporter, but I like memes. So that's my claim to fame.
You also said one of my videos was good, so you get to be on the podcast.
That's right. That's right.
That was a long time ago now, wasn't it?
That was
first time we DM'd was in. I gotta scroll back. It was in
yeah,
July.
I was looking for July. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, July 10th.
July
last year.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
But I am curious. How did you get involved with this side of YouTube in general?
Well, I was always a fan. I love YouTube, and I've been watching it daily probably since 2010. And I watch PewDiePie every day, and I watched him for years. And it just that whole circle of that, the commentary community. Honestly, it just happens because you see a recommended video, or it just auto plays the next video, and you start really getting sucked into this black hole of YouTube, and all of a sudden you find yourself watching dozens of channels. And I stopped watching for a while there. I didn't watch TV. I just watched YouTube, and it's it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. All of my content comes from YouTube. I'm watching I watch other commentators for the most part. I don't really watch TV.
TV's overrated, and I hate to say that, but the best content out there is not on TV. And it's who is waiting? If you watch a show on TV, who is waiting till 8 o'clock to watch their show? It's no, I'm not waiting. I'm just gonna watch it now because it's online. So that's I don't know. It's changing. The game's changing.
Yeah, you don't need to wait for reruns. You don't need to wait for it to come on Netflix or anything, or to go on Redbox. It's all the content's just there when it's there,
Yeah.
Except maybe live streams if people don't archive them, but whatever. But how I know you explained how you kind of came to this side in general, but the way I found you is I think it was Filthy Frank or somebody retweeted you, and then I found you were following people like Frank, anything for views, iDubbbz. How them specifically?
Oh, well, I've been watching Filthy Frank for years. I don't know. I think I started watching him around the time of the Harlem Shake video, and I saw that video on his channel, and then I just started watching all his content. I think it's hilarious, and I cannot remember how I found iDubbbz. I've been watching iDubbbz. I was watching iDubbbz because of his. He did that series Kickstarter crap, and I just happened to watch a Kickstarter crap video because I was actually, funny story, I was working for a company in college, and it was a summer job, and the whole job was that I was supposed to make the video for their Kickstarter. It was the only thing I had to do that summer. And so I would watch other Kickstarters, and I came across Kickstarter crap, and I would just watch that every day. I would watch all his episodes, and then I would think about, okay, how could I make a Kickstarter video that won't end up on this channel? And fun fact, that video never got made. The video, I worked all summer for this company, and for whatever reason, I won't get into it. The video never got made, so I really couldn't tell you what I did.
And I'm guessing you found anything for views through the collabs with those two.
Yeah, then they, I think for me, it started with iDubbbz and Max Mofo, and they had that collab and with Chad, or anything for views. And yeah, so I just think they're hilarious. And then they had a good crossover. The iDubbbz Content Cop on Rice Gum was the greatest thing because all my favorite YouTubers and Post Malone was in on that too.
Yeah.
And I love Ethan. So that was just like I tweeted at I was like, "This is the best day of my life."
Yeah, no, the Post Malone cameo was the one that caught me off guard the most. Because it was just the most unexpected. Like, all the others are YouTubers. Like, it's within the realm of possibility that they'll appear. And I guess
Yeah,
Post Malone made sense as well because, you know, he knows H3. But it's just, he's definitely the most high profile. He's kind of like the most famous musician in the world at the moment, at least as far as streaming goes.
yeah. Oh, he's on here playing PUBG, and I watch it. And I think it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, no, like, him, Lil Yachty, like, they all stream and stuff, and it's really weird.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Like, honest, it makes them feel so much more personable in a way like that celebrities just haven't ever.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
it's good for everyone. It's good for Twitch. It's good for their and like brand, whatever, effing corporate stuff. But like, it's good for everyone.
yeah, it's good, and especially like the people who watch them because like it's good content. Like Post Malone's entertaining as shit.
He is, and it's good for Twitch too because I think the general idea of Twitch for people that don't know Twitch, and it's funny because at work we were talking. I pitched doing content on Twitch. The company I work for, they try really hard to be innovative, and I told them, I said, well, we should get on Twitch, and they're like, what is Twitch? And one person's like, oh, that's where those people play video games, and naked girls play video games. I was like, well, you're not wrong, but it's good for Twitch to get like good content because you have the Twitch, the girls that do their thing on Twitch, which is just whatever. You agree with it or disagree with it. It's there, and Twitch is allowing it, but it's not a great look for Twitch. It just makes them look like a cam site with video games.
Did you hear about like that guy who managed to stream the McGregor fight by pretending to be?
Oh yeah, he was playing the video game. That's hilarious.
That was the greatest thing I had seen all day, and I was like if you look over the footage, like he's so into it. I wonder how many donations he got.
Probably a ton. That's a great meme there. I love that.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that.
Yeah. Like talking about like your whole like involvement in like this whole commentary meme whatever side of YouTube again. How has like this double life affected you like as a person? Is it hard to juggle or is it like just kind of like day and night like Batman?
I have to be careful because as a reporter, you have to maintain that level of credibility where when you do show up on someone's television or your story, comes on Facebook or whatever, you need to be believable as a reporter. You need to be, respectful and, you have to have integrity. But I love the culture around memes. I don't know. I don't really know where that culture came from, but I love it. And I think it's hilarious. And the truth is, I think it's funny because it's not appropriate. And that's why I think people gravitate towards anonymous memeing online because you can get away with it and you can say things that you could never get away with in real life. So not that I go and I have like secret accounts and I'm posting terrible stuff because I'm not, but it can be tough. Like you're at work and I was again, like last week, you and I just talked about this, the Ugandan Knuckles meme, which is hilarious. I tried to explain that to someone at work because I asked them I said, do you know Dewey? And they said, what are you talking? I said, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, it's a meme. Explained it. And I don't know how, I don't really know. I'm sure I got judged hardcore, which I don't care, but it's like, oh, I gotta be careful here.
Yeah, I think people who like judge people for like what they find funny is kind of absurd because you can't really control what you find like entertaining or funny. You can only like control like what you actually believe and how you let that affect how you act.
Yeah.
And
I think everyone wants to laugh at stuff like that. And the problem is that it's such a PC culture in the real world that you're afraid to like upset someone. And like, especially as a television reporter, I don't want to upset anyone because I don't want that to affect my work or, people that I work with. I don't want someone to not watch my channel anymore because I said something offensive. And, that's something that would totally happen. The problem is when you're part of a brand, and I'm sure nobody in the chat lives in Idaho, but KTVB is a very high respected brand. We're the #1 station here.
Oh, dang.
If you tarnish that brand, it's embarrassing and you have to be careful. But at the same time, like on Twitter I can tweet and get away with it. But now that I'm verified, I have to be careful because my stuff will show up on timelines because I have that stupid check mark. So I used to be a more prolific memer, and then I got verified, and I was like, all right, I gotta be careful.
It's like now I gotta cool it down.
Well, I know that people are gonna see it now because the Twitter algorithm.
Yeah.
Before, when I wasn't verified, and I blew up in follow, and by blew up, I have like 1,000 followers, but like my followers, I got a ton more followers after the memeing. And so I just kept doing it, and it like feels good that people are following you. It's like, oh, cool, people like this.
Yeah, it's like people like you don't even know, like who probably don't even watch a news station, like they gravitate towards that because it's someone in like that kind of official position is like, hey, he has a life, but he's also like us.
Yeah, it's like, hey, he's one. That's why I've gotten a ton of DMs from guys like you. They're like, hey, it's cool that you're one of us and you're in the normie world. And that's.
It's unusual, and it's most definitely interesting to like hear from like your perspective,
It hurts my street cred that I'm a local TV reporter because people are like, you're such a normie. You put on a tie. I get some hate sometimes on Twitter. It's like, no, like you're just trying to cash in on this meme. You're late to the party. You're just looking for likes, and this meme was over a month ago. And it's like, that's not true. The problem was there was that reporter, Chris Wolf, at KTLA. He did the coverage on Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And like then he tried too hard to be hip. And it was very obvious that's like, okay, this guy's not part of this community. He's a cool guy. I thought he was a cool reporter, but like you can tell when someone's faking it.
Yeah,
you can tell when you can tell when someone's faking it and they're not actually part of the community. And that's the hate I get is like you're this verified TV reporter. You're so full of it, like you're not part of this community. F off. And I was like, all right, cool, thank you.
Yeah. That has to be bummy though. Like Chris Wolf, like he does seem like a cool guy. I was listening to him on the H3 podcast, and he seems like a fun guy to talk to, or like a fun guy to listen to at least. And like he understood like the kind of thing he was doing. But it sounded like he was getting like shit from both ends. Like for one, memeing it too hard. Like apparently his boss. It sounded like his bosses didn't like that. But like then he's also getting like shit from people like me. Well, not me exactly, but like people in this sphere of the internet. And like they thought he was faking it, so it's like you can't win, but you can just please the people who like what you do, And
he's a great reporter. He really is. I have a ton of respect for him. For any I guess it depends what your career goals are, but to get to Los Angeles as a TV reporter is very, very difficult, and it's the second best place to be. I think New York and Los Angeles are the two biggest markets. So to get to that point, you are honestly like the top of the top. So anybody in those spots. You have to have a ton of respect for him, even if you don't watch the news, and I don't think most people do watch the news, especially our age. And I get that, but when they get their work out there and you do watch their stuff, I think it's hard to realize if they're good or bad. And I think it's important that everyone knows that Chris Wolf is a great journalist.
Yeah, imagine like working that hard though. Like you work all your life, like, and you end up like at the top of the chain, like in LA, and then your biggest story of your career is Jake Paul making fun of your shoes.
Yeah, that's as a reporter, it's like, well, that stinks because I know for a fact, like I've worked on stories for months, and I worked hard, and they were great stories, and nobody cared, and then like I'll get a video of a dog like running across some snow, and that blows up. And I put no effort into it, and it's not good it's the BuzzFeed effect, and I don't like BuzzFeed. It's not good.
It's marketable. Like it's kind of like the same idea with YouTube though. Like what you try to like make things that are marketable towards the algorithm, but at the same time, like you want it to be good stuff, right?
It's just like clickbait, and the problem with YouTube right now is it's like the clickbait Olympics. Like the thumbnails, it's a meme now. Like. PewDiePie, we went through a little phase there where like all of his thumbnails and all his titles were just like obvious, it's like a meme of clickbait. It wasn't legit clickbait because you knew it was a joke, but it was just like such a commentary as like where we're at. And I think you have like the drama alerts of the world that, it's just everything's clickbait.
Yeah.
And if you watch Keemstar, 90% of the time it is, it's what it looks like. But like there are times where I'll watch Drama Alert because I think it's interesting. There's times where it's like this had nothing to do with the title, I clicked because he got me. It was a good title and a good people I'm interested in. And then it's like today, PewDiePie was on Drama Alert, and I was like, oh no, what did he do? And he did nothing. He just did he did like a small thing. He helped that
Yeah, he
that
helped
guy
him
that's
out.
he helped that guy out. Yeah, I can't. What is that guy's name?
I can't remember. Old karaoke guy is what I'm gonna
The
call him. 'Cause I'm a bad
karaoke
person.
guy. Yeah. God, I love that. That is so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I can't lie. Like, I pretty obviously clickbait my titles and my thumbnails pretty hard, and I'm not ashamed of it because I think it is a legitimate way to do it as long as you're like intriguing and not misleading. Like, they're two different things.
Yeah. I mean, clickbait, it's part of the game. I mean, we talk about that in I don't know what, I guess in the media world. You're in the media world too. I guess the local TV media world. We talk about the difference between clickbaiting stuff and just giving a good headline. And there's a fine line there, but you don't know.
Yeah.
And you don't know when you hit publish, and then like it's like days later, you're like, okay, that was just a really good headline.
Yeah. Like the Ugandan Knuckles meme that I made, like I feel like that video was very much I guess a good headline in this case if you want to put it in like your world of media terms, but because it was like exactly what the video was about, but it was a topic that everybody was talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Oh, this guy in the chat, Johnny D. Thank you.
Johnny.
It
Okay,
was
yeah.
Johnny D.
I thought it
Johnny
was
D.
something E. I thought I was like gonna say I
Johnny
was
D.
gonna see like Lee Jones, and I'm like that is something different.
There it is. I love that. The Hey Monica. That was great.
Hey,
Great video.
Wait, what was that?
He's saying, hey Monica, hey Monica. It said some Swedish song.
Okay,
It's
okay.
hilarious. It's very funny.
All right. What else did I have in this? Oh yeah. Seeing as like how like you're followed by Filthy Frank. What is that like? How like what is the blessing?
It was really cool. I would just tweet at him sometimes, and I never expected him to read any of my stuff. And then he started favoriting my tweets, and then I can't remember. I'm not exactly sure it happened, but I got the notification. It's like at Filthy Frank is now following you. And I was like, oh, this has to be some parody account, and I didn't think about it. And I got on Twitter later, and I was just going through my followers, and there it was. It was Pink Guy, and I DM'd him, and we chatted briefly. And he was really nice, really cool guy. And it was just kind of like a badge of honor. It was like, cool. I am followed by one of the people I like the most on YouTube. And it was just like super cool.
Yeah,
and it's like it's the weirdest thing because it's like fake internet points on Reddit where it like doesn't matter and it's not even real. But you're so proud of yourself. You're like, oh, I watched this guy's videos for 6 years and now he follows me on Twitter. Wow, I am so cool.
Yeah, it's like getting Parasitical to follow you in the commentary community. It's like
There it is.
it's the top dog is now. It's like best friend Niall. That's like Parasitical's like first name is Niall, but like there's like this whole meme like where it's like best friend Niall. Hey guys, I'm mates with Parasitical. I talked with him for like 0.3 seconds. It's great. Yeah. But speaking of Filthy Frank as well, like how do you feel about his retirement? Like him transitioning into Joji. Like, do you like his music and stuff?
I'm really happy for him because I do like his music and I have his album and I paid for it on iTunes. It just came out. It's called In Tongues. It was his EP, and it's good music. Like I like that type of music, so I was really happy when I heard it. And I was actually talking with someone not too long ago. Pink Season musically is a great album, and I think it's funny too, but it's it's not appropriate at all. But listening to his stuff, there's talent there. And I had wondered, I wonder if he's gonna full time. And so when I saw that he retired, I was bummed because I love his videos. I love all of his videos. And I think the whole Omniverse he created. I'm buying that book. It's on my Amazon shortlist. I want his book. I just think it's cool. He created a whole world of characters, and it was exciting and fun, and I loved his collabs. And I'm sad he's gone, but it's I think it was Grande had a great meme. It was the Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
where they're that was awesome.
It's been a
Yeah, that one. Yeah, and I got emotional, boys. Put on some Young Lean and get emotional.
Oh my god.
I love Young Lean, by the way. If I could get a follow from Young Lean, that'd be tight.
Yeah, that
He,
badge of honor number 2.
The best. Well, I love the vaporwave culture. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty good depending on who you talk to. But for me, like as far as Pink Season musically, I think there was an album's worth of good stuff there, but like a lot of the stuff there was only good for one listen. Like I don't think I could listen to Club Banger 3000 like 20 times in a row like I could Pink Life.
Well, I think a lot of it's shock value.
Yeah, most definitely. And like that shock value wears off like anything.
See, this fellow in the chat says he thinks Joji's overrated, and I hear that a lot.
So, some like Joji makes like good stuff, but like the perspective of a lot of people who think he's overrated, and I don't personally, but like their thought process is that like he makes typical sad cloud rap, typical sad boy cloud stuff, right? Like
I love it. Yeah, I mean he does. He makes a certain style of music, but no one's. I don't know. I think he does. He's good at it. I love it. Yeah, he's good.
I think his voice is what sets him apart. Like his production is like very comparable to a lot of people in that same genre, but like I think his voice is what gives him his unique kind of feel.
Yeah.
Plus, he's the only one of that genre that I really listen to. So.
Yeah. I don't really listen to anyone else in that genre either.
I don't have like a million people to compare it to.
No, and that's why I think I like him is because I don't listen to stuff like that. I like that type of music when it comes on. Like I'll listen to. My favorite thing to do with the power of the internet's great, and for me, discovering new music is my favorite thing to do. And I remember when I found Pandora when I was in high school, I thought that was the greatest website ever. And then SoundCloud became a thing, and you just click through SoundCloud and you find things. And like Vaporwave, for example, I found a bunch of Vaporwave bands that they don't even exist, or they had like one album that came out 10 years ago and it just ended up on SoundCloud, and like you can't even figure out who was in the band. But I will listen to that CD or whatever album all the time. And I'm like, these people have no idea that there's some idiot in Boise listening to their album on the reg. And they probably have no idea.
Yeah, it's like even before this podcast started, like I was in a call with one of my friends and we were literally just going back and forth with music suggestions on Spotify for like half an hour. It's so much fun, like just exchanging that kind of stuff because you can all just pull up new stuff randomly, and it's just democratizes like finding stuff like that, and it's really cool to think that you can do things like that.
Yeah, but it is cool. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to move into the trending topics first, or do you want to like do the few Twitter questions that we have?
Let's do those Twitter questions.
Sounds good. If you guys have any though, like feel free to leave them on the tweet. I'll put that tweet in chat real fast if you guys want to leave any questions. But we have 2 right now. I'm Josh asked, what's the thickest weed he's ever smoked? You don't have to answer that.
I don't do drugs, drug free. I do have a funny story I guess I could tell.
Only if you're
I grew up. I'm comfortable. I grew up in Colorado. Marijuana is legal there now, which is the ultimate meme. It's funny because I can't remember the exact date, but the date where it became legal is like cloud. I was living in Boulder, and this cloud just came over Boulder, and I was like, oh god. Anyways, but in high school, I knew some kids that were Filthy Frank-esque. And they thought it'd be funny to legitimately smoke weeds, like weeds in your yard, like not marijuana. And they got a ton of like, you know, like those like prickly grass and like prickly plants, weeds that your parents would like have you like pick. And like they got a bunch of these weeds and they grinded it up and they smoked it and got like really sick. So when I hear people are like, oh, I love smoking weeds. I just think of those kids, and it's just like there are people that have smoked weeds.
Like physical weeds.
It's just dumb. It's like a dumb story, and it's just funny. But yeah, so that's that story. So that's to answer your question. Yes. There you go. I don't know. What was the question? No. So that was that question.
Yeah, and the
second question. Next question.
The only other question we have is from Kappa. He was the guy I was doing like the music thing with. But he asked, why did you agree to be on this podcast?
Why did I agree? Because I love supporting YouTubers because they are living my dream, and I want to support them. And I think it's fun to do stuff like this. I think anytime you can do a collaboration with someone, quite honestly, I don't think me being on your show helps you at all. But if it helps at all, it's like, hey, if I can help this guy, no problem. Plus, I have nothing to do at this time on Friday. It's that in between where it's like after work, but like too early to go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, this is a good thing to do for some time. So there you go. If you guys have any other questions, hit us up. I love answering some good questions. Love talking about myself. I am a TV reporter.
Yeah, sounds good. Also, so yeah, trending topics. First one, Logan Paul wants a second chance. In case you guys didn't know, one, you can go watch my video on it. Two, TMZ released the clip of Logan saying that he deserves a second chance, or saying that everybody deserves a second chance, not him specifically. But what do you guys think of what do you think of like that? Do you think he deserves a second chance, or like what do you think he has to do to earn it in the first place?
I do think that he deserves a second chance, not because specifically Logan Paul deserves a second chance, but I think everyone does deserve another chance. I think the problem with Logan is you get to this like YouTube arms race where like you have to keep doing crazy stuff to, attract your audience. And he got to the point, and I don't know Logan, I've never talked with him and I have no insight into his life. But as an outsider, it's like he got to the point where he lost control of reality and he just was putting out content just to put out content. And I think what he did was terrible. And I think he's suffered appropriate consequences. But Logan deserves another chance. I think what he does is good for the platform. It attracts a ton of people to YouTube. And just, I think that's a great thing for him to do. Do I love his content? No. The funny thing is I had watched his Japan vlogs the days leading up to that video. And so I kind of saw it coming. I was like, he clickbaited the title where it's like, I got kicked out of Japan, and that was in my recommended. And I was like, I'll watch that. I would love to see this guy get kicked out of Japan. And I started watching, and I was like, he is legitimately going to get in trouble. Because as he highlighted, Japan is all about the respect, and he has no respect. He was, doing his thing. I'm sure everyone saw the clips by now. I was thinking to myself, I was like, this kid's going to get in legitimate trouble. And the next day, I actually saw the video before it was taken down. And when I watched it, I didn't realize how big of a deal it was. I watched it, I was like, that's really bad. And then I blew up.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was until I started talking to my friends, and like we like pieced the puzzles together, right? Like we found like all the things that I saw wrong and all the things they saw wrong combined into one piece. It's like, whoa, this is really, really bad. Like the danger it posed to like young impressionable audiences and all that.
Yeah.
It was just a massive mess. But go for it.
Problem. The video was a terrible. You should not show a dead body. And there's the whole thing where it's like, oh, well, they had to they made the thumbnail. They had to line up for the thumbnail. Like that stuff's effed. But like, it's an important topic. Was it brought up in the right way? No. But I don't know. It was not a good thing to do. But I can understand what he was trying to go for. He starts the video by saying like, this is some real stuff and very serious, and he talked about how he demonetized the video because he didn't want to monetize suicide. And I don't know him, so it's hard to get a good read on him, but that was bad. That was really bad. But he deserves another chance.
He just, I feel like he has to he has to prove like he's changed first, though, for me at least.
I think he's gonna go on Dr. Phil and Ellen next week.
Yeah, I saw that on Drama Alert too.
Yeah, so that'll be good. Oh, that's what I saw. I saw it on Drama Alert this
Yeah,
afternoon. So
yeah,
that'll be good for him. And I think what he'll say is, "Hey, I got caught up in this YouTube thing. I was doing vlogging, every day for 460 days in a row, and I got caught up in it." And I think he just legitimately got caught up in it, and he just was kind of disconnected from reality.
yeah.
If he can come back to reality and not be a dumb shot, as he would call himself, yeah, come back.
Yeah, I think I still like Logan Paul more than Jake Paul because I think Logan was just like not thinking, whereas Jake legitimately seems malicious. It's
Yeah, well, the whole merch thing for both of them, that's terrible. Like the way they prey on kids
yeah,
and
it's
the
predatory.
merch, it's
Like,
terrible. Yeah, predatory. Yeah,
but it's like
that's
it's a controllable kind of thing. It's like not it's not going to directly ruin somebody's career, but like Jake Paul did like going after somebody's like livelihood that just fucked me off. Like I didn't like that at all.
yeah. Jake Paul is like way into that like rice gum baiting people out on YouTube thing. And the thing about Logan that I respect is he just kind of is in his own world, and he's not start. He had that dumb stuff with rice gum as well,
But it was clearly
with
fake.
it was all fake. But like Jake is like again, I don't know them at all, and I'm not plugged into their circles. It just seems like Jake is always baiting people to like fight, and it doesn't seem like Logan does that. And it's like, why are you doing this? I mean, I know why he's doing it. It's great exposure, but it's like, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. What was the? Oh yeah, the next topic was all the new YouTube monetization policies that everybody's talking about. If you guys don't know, which I'm sure you do, but for the sake of like somebody who listens to this podcast for some reason, like 3,000 years in the future, YouTube raised their standards for or requirements for being able to monetize videos. So now you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of total watch time over the last 12 months. A lot of smaller YouTubers weren't really a fan of that, didn't really appreciate it. They thought they were being snubbed by YouTube yet again, and that they were like prioritizing and playing favorites with the bigger guys. I thought it was an overreaction, to be quite honest. If you wanna see more details on that, you can watch my video. I'm gonna do a lot of plugging this podcast, just so we're clear.
Hey, that's
But
the point of a podcast. Plug.
yep, that watch time. But with with that whole thing with the monetization, do you think that channels were overreacting? Do you think YouTube made a good decision?
Oh, it's a business. Here's the thing. YouTube is a business, and it's a business that doesn't make money right now. And that's, at the end of the day, the channels have to remember that the platform is going to always come first. And I'm part of the YouTube community that is losing their monetization. I'm partnered on YouTube, even though I took down all my videos. But I got that email the other day. And at first I was pissed because like I want my 12 cents a year. But then I realized, with the Adpocalypse and Adpocalypse round 2 with Logan, it's like, well, it makes sense. The top YouTubers need to draw that money. And the small YouTubers, if you take all the, basically the $100 here and there, and you put that towards making YouTube a better place, then that's better for the whole platform. And I think the fact that YouTube doesn't make money, they make money, but they are not making a ton of money. It's not a good business decision. And the problem is now you have like Twitch that's going to go after YouTube, and I don't think you'll ever kill the platform of YouTube, but it has to make business sense first. So I see where the small channels are coming from, because that does suck. But at the same time, I don't think they're making enough money to where it mattered anyways.
Yeah,
And I hate to say that, because I support small YouTube channels. And I get so excited when I'm watching a small YouTube channel and there's an ad roll. It's like, yes, that's awesome.
yeah. Now if you see an ad, it's probably because they got copyright claimed and you just feel bad. But I think overall it is a good thing, because I know like some of my friends like that are bigger, but they're not like upper echelon big. They're making just enough to live off of YouTube, and if like they can make just like if that extra like difference like that, like a couple thousand people who don't rely on YouTube for their income, if them losing like the 12 cents they made a year, like in your case, like helps them pay their rent, like I'm okay with sacrificing my stuff. I can't speak for everybody obviously, but that's just the way I see it.
And it is tough. I wish I had more data and info about like YouTubers that are in that gap that were making a decent amount but are now gonna, I don't know. I feel like if you have 1,000 subscribers, I don't know. It's tough. I wish I had more information, and I hope someone does a video on it soon about, these channels were making pretty significant money and now they're not making any because of the new rules. I just don't know.
If you're like the thing is, if you're like 200, okay, so like I broke down the math in like my video. It's 4,000 hours is 240,000 watch minutes. The average view duration, if we like assume, is 3 minutes. It's like 80,000 views total. That's like $8.
Yeah, $8 is not really going to make a difference either way for someone.
So like if you were at the point where like you were making enough money to like even be able to withdraw it. Sorry, that's like $80, not 8. But you need to make $100 on AdSense before you can even withdraw it. So if you hit like that view threshold, you wouldn't even be able to take it out yet.
Yeah.
So I don't like think like anybody's really losing that much. But speaking of the Twitch thing, and as a very convenient transition, Twitch yesterday introduced a new feature called Video Producer, and basically it allows people to upload pre-made content, and it kind of acts like a competition to YouTube directly. It adds a premieres feature, which lets a bunch of people watch the same video for the first time together as it's being like when it's first uploaded. And I saw a couple YouTubers like I Hate Everything saying that it was a perfect format for their content, and that they were like IHE specifically said that he was really interested in it, like in Twitch for the first time. Like, do you think like it has any chance of like of actually like going up against YouTube in any meaningful way?
I think I don't know. I think niche communities will always go to Twitch.
Yeah.
I just think the Vimeo thing shows that like you're not going to take down YouTube. But the funny thing is, 15 or 20 years ago, everyone said AOL, no one will ever take down AOL. AOL will always be the most important thing. Guess what? AOL does not even exist anymore. I mean, it's there. There's a company, AOL, but who is on AIM's canceled. No one has an AOL email address. So I think, there's always change. There will always be change, but it's hard to say. And I think Twitch is a really viable contender to YouTube because there are legitimate organizations on Twitch. Outside of memeing, also a big pro wrestling fan. And it's cool because pro wrestling is now showing up on Twitch, like legitimate shows. And it's cool that it's like, oh, I can go watch this show on Twitch. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's like
it's a platform.
Yeah, it's like the Bob Ross marathons. They like, and they're backed by Amazon, which like stands to earn something if Google like takes some hit back and like the competition like goes over to Amazon instead. And I think they scored like a deal with Disney so that like a bunch of like the Disney like managed things creators like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, like I think they're creating Twitch exclusive content because of a deal like that. So like if like they have big creators from YouTube making stuff for Twitch, like that's kind of a not a deal breaker for YouTube, but a blow to them at the very least.
Yeah. Markiplier.
I think it was Staff that tweeted this, but a lot of I think he said, why doesn't like YouTube push Markiplier as the face of their brand? Because he's genuinely nice and he has like a spotless track record.
I don't know. I've actually wondered that before because PewDiePie will never get put down because of his whole thing. PewDiePie will never be pushed as the face of that platform, and I don't even know if he should be. He's not corporate friendly because of his track record. I am not afraid to admit I watch PewDiePie every day. I think he's hilarious. I think his content has evolved in a way that my taste has evolved. And I mean, I watched his. I don't want to be that guy, but I watched PewDiePie probably since 2011, 12, and I used to love his content, and I got sick of that content at the same time he did, and I love his new stuff. And I think he's the perfect example of how YouTube will be better than any other entertainment platform, is because I watch him every day. And it's like a TV show for me. I go home and watch PewDiePie. It's just like a nice 20-minute show, 10-minute show. And I don't even think about it. I just throw it on and it's there and it's easy. And he makes money and I enjoy his content and it's easy.
Yeah. I think that's a good example of how like YouTube content can age with an audience in a way that I don't like. At least that not that I know of that like TV shows really can't, because they're too controlled by like a single kind of corporation or like single party, not like there's too many conflicting interests to like just get
Yeah.
action done quickly. Like they'd be too afraid to change. But like if you're a guy like PewDiePie, you're one guy running this entire 16 million viewer operation. So if when he got sick of his content, he realized his fans probably were too, right? Like you, and like as soon as he started changing it up, he was getting praise left and right, and like he got some kickback. But obviously, like a lot of people are always going to enjoy his older stuff. But he like even though he got kickback, he was getting a lot of props from other creators who saw him evolve and like kind of even as the face of YouTube, evolve like as a not only as a creator but as a person. And like what and like tried to push the envelope of what he was doing, and sometimes that he pushed it too far, and that kind of hurt him, career wise. But
Yeah. Well, he made mistakes. The whole Nazi thing, that was so stupid. That whole thing was so stupid.
I'm gonna be honest, and I hope you don't take any offense from that. But like from this, but that was a total media hit job, and like I feel like it was old.
Oh
media.
yeah, they went after him.
It was like some of it like there was like valid criticisms to be made, but there was like they took so many things out of context. There was the Wired article like was so badly clickbaited they eventually had to change the name of it because of the backlash.
Yeah.
Like they just straight up
No, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, they straight up called him a racist, like which not
Yeah.
true, but it's whatever.
The problem is like the shit happens on the national level, and then the local news we suffer. I cannot tell you how many calls I take at work where people are calling and complaining about things that have nothing to do with local TV, but they just kind of lump us all into the same fake media. Someone in the comments made a fake media comment, and Ryan, I laughed because I get that comment all the time, and there's just such a difference between local TV. Okay, here's the comparison. Local TV are the small YouTubers. National media are the big YouTubers. When a big YouTuber does something stupid, everyone gets lumped in together and everyone suffers the consequences, like adpocalypse. This whole like fake news media thing kills all of us.
Jesus.
It's so annoying.
Yeah,
This is not true.
Speaking of like the fake news thing, like how much of that like do you think any of it has any merit, or do you think it's just all like a bunch of like how bluey?
There is fake news out there, and there will always be fake news, and a lot of it lives on the internet. And there's also a difference between fake news and commentary. Like on CNN or MSNBC or any of those cable news channels, you have people who are not journalists. They are whatever. They're not journalists. They go on these shows and they run their mouths. And a lot of the time, I don't think they have anything to say. So they just say whatever inflammatory shit they can come up with. And people take that as news because it aired on a news channel. And then it's like, oh, CNN is this or MSNBC is this because they had this person on their show saying this. And that's where this whole fake news thing comes from. There also are, as we just talked about with the PewDiePie stuff, there's bad reporting out there sometimes. And there is fake news out there. Donald Trump just had his fake news awards. And I was hugely disappointed about the presentation. I thought we were going to get a live stream from the Oval Office at least. And we just got it. It was just rolled out on Twitter. But if you look through that, or yeah, they should have had a presidential Twitch channel. That would have been huge. I would follow that. But the fake news awards highlighted that there was some bad reporting. And it's true. If you look at it, it was the number one winner of the fake news awards was Paul Krugman for the New York Times, and he had a bad article, and it wasn't fair to the president, and it doesn't have to be fair. I think the thing is there is fake news out there, and President Trump he's treated unfairly, but so is President Obama, so is President Bush, so is President Clinton. That's just, it comes with the job.
Yeah. It's and he goes so like overboard with it. Like I don't like want to like alienate anybody who like likes Trump, but like you have to admit he goes overboard on Twitter. Like no president in the past has like been this upfront with like how their personality on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how you feel about that, it's always how it's been. Like they've always been like a little more reserved.
Yeah. Well, I just like picture him like sitting on the toilet, just like all caps tweeting. It's like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
a good.
like, God. I remember like there's a study done like where like the apparently like the bombastic tweets he make that are like not necessarily aggressive, but like not necessarily offensive, but like more aggressive. Like they were all came from like an Android, and all the ones that were made by that were like celebrating holidays or like congratulating people came from an iPhone. So like people thought like his team was doing all the nice tweets. I have no idea if that's true. But
I'm sure he has scheduled tweets.
oh, I'm sure.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he has tweet deck. Yeah.
Yeah. I still need to figure out how to use TweetDeck. A year in, and I still have not figured out that damn thing.
I never touch. It scares me to schedule a tweet because I'm afraid something will go wrong.
Yeah.
We had a in the news a lot of the time. Not a lot of the time. Sometimes you'll get the news before it comes out, and they'll say you have to hold this till 10 a.m. But you want to be first, so we have it the night before. Like you can't, it's embargoed, is what they say. It's embargoed till 10 a.m. tomorrow. So you write up the story, and then right at 10 a.m., it's published. And I remember there was a item that was like embargoed till 5 a.m. So the night before, I wrote a tweet, and I was so scared it was going to go out before 5 a.m. that I deleted it off TweetDeck, and I just did it the hardcore way. I woke up and did it. So there you go.
That's dedication.
There's that story. That was a really good story.
Yeah. What else? What else is on the list?
What else we got here?
Is there any more questions? Yeah, like if you guys have any questions, please ask them because like you gotta come up with some good stuff.
Yeah, get some good questions. I did see some questions on your. There were some questions that I saw on your Twitter page. Go follow them. And here we go. Hold on, my computer froze. All right. Maybe not. Okay, here we go. Okay, there was one. It was from 10 days to heck.
That's Orion.
It was Orion. Orion asked, do you have any pets? And if so, please tell them I love them. Also, what are they and what are their names? I don't have any pets. I very much would like a dog. But the truth is, I don't want to take care of a dog. I just want to pet a dog. So I go to the Humane Society, and I was going to get a dog, and I couldn't pull the trigger because it's like I don't want to take care of this thing. I can barely take care of myself.
Hey, I think that shows like some responsibility in your end though. Like people like who just want a dog and they don't realize what it comes with it. Like I'm glad you're like aware enough of yourself to realize that like I really like be able to make this commitment.
And I live in an apartment, so I'd feel badly for the doggo. You'd have to like hang out in a small room all day while I'm at work. It's like, forget that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good though. Like you're able to think of the pet as more than just like a thing to pet.
That's right. You have to take care of it. It's living. Well, also I knew a guy who had a pet. He had a dog, and that poor dog was a home by itself all the time.
Oh,
that
Jesus.
sucks. That sucks. Yeah. So there you go. I'll come pet your dog, Orion, if you have a good dog. There are bad dogs out there. So.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm like seeing him like in a couple weeks because I'll be in Florida. But he just really wants me to pet his dogs, but like I refuse because one of them's really dumb. Like still adorable, but really dumb. And I love him. Still dumb though.
What type of dogs?
I don't know. I forgot. But
Ryan, what kind of dogs do you have there?
Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to that because like it's gonna take a couple seconds to live. Okay, two dogs. What are the things? Ryan, you gotta speed it up.
Come on, Orion. This is good podcasting.
This whole podcast is counting on you at this point, Orion.
Oh, here's a question for me. Joe, what's your favorite book or movie? Okay. Favorite book. Oh man, it's pretty embarrassing. Right now my favorite book is called Martyr, and it is actually from the Dead Space series. There's the Dead Space video games, which are my favorite video games, and there was a series of books that was like the prequel to the video games. And the one called Martyr was a great book, and I absolutely loved it. So that's my favorite book. My favorite movie. It's a great question. Fight Club. Absolutely Fight Club. There you go. Fight Club is great.
Dead Space is a good video game.
Dead Space is the best.
Speaking of video games, like, what do you usually like? What do you play on?
I have, oh boy. When you're an adult and you have disposable income, you can buy an Xbox and a PlayStation. So I have both. Right now I'm playing The Last of Us Remastered on PS4. And on Xbox, I am playing Destiny 2.
Yeah. Destiny 2. God, I could never get past the first one because, like, I'm not good with repetitive gameplay. But I've wanted to pick up The Last of Us for a while. Recently, I've been playing Skyrim for the 70 billionth time because I got, like, a VR headset for the PS4, and I've just been going ham on that. It's been...
There it is. There it is. Yeah, but I don't play as many video games as I do. I get home from work and I fall asleep. I work overnights, so I'm the morning reporter, and so I work 3 a.m. to noon, and I've been doing that for over a year now. But you never get used to it, so I'll get home at like 1 o'clock and just die and just fall asleep.
God, this sounds...
It's good stuff. I got a text my friend Katie. She's tuned into the show tonight. And Katie, if you're still listening, I sent her the link. So Katie was the person at work. I work with Katie, good friend and coworker. I told her about the Ugandan Knuckles meme. So now that I think she's listening, let's talk about Ugandan Knuckles real quickly. And to answer your question, Happy Face, I am waiting for the new game coming out on PS4 that was supposed to be the Silent Hill game, but now it's got Daryl from Walking Dead. What is it called? That's it. I am so excited for that game. So that's what I'm waiting for.
I'm okay with it, like, just trailers for that game releasing for the rest of eternity, as long as it keeps, like, freaking me out like the ones so far have.
They're so good.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that.
We still have no idea what it's about.
We don't. All right, let's talk Ugandan Knuckles before we wrap this up, because as Orion mentioned, do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way? The Queen. The Queen. I love that so much.
Ugandan Knuckles is sadly in its waning, falling action kind of thing. Like, it's been around for a few weeks, so it is kind of falling out of its life. But the things that had to happen for that meme to be possible is just so against the odds. Like, Gregzilla like made that random animation in his Sonic Lost World review. Somebody took that, made a 3D model, it ended up in VR chat. Some guys in Uganda made a movie, and they took quotes from that and put that into VR chat and like had like 20, 30 people run around, and then somebody had to take the footage of that and then edit it together. So many moving parts, and so all odds of something like this happening, it shouldn't have, but it did, and it's amazing.
I think it's not racist. It's funny. It's clean humor, and it's a meme, and it's perfect. I love it. Yeah, so like, funny. I've watched so many of those videos, the VR chat videos on YouTube of like just PewDiePie had a good one. I've seen probably about 20 of them where they're all just yelling and clicking noises. It's it's great.
It's a mess, but it's like the fun kind of mess. I remember James Key blew up off of it. Like, he got like 400K subs off of it, I think.
Good. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I think that's meme of the month, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I'm here because I'm a huge memer. So I just want to say there's been some great memes. 2017 had some great memes. I think the dank meme community over on Reddit, I think they gave the brain expanding meme of the year. Not sure I agree with that. Not too happy with that. I thought there was better memes than that.
All right. Are you ready? I'm about ready to wrap this up if you are, unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
No, I got nothing. There's another question here. Joe, do you watch Jameski? He's a good VR YouTuber. I don't, but I will look him up.
Yep.
What is this question? Julian to the T. He had a question on Twitter.
Julian, I'm just going to say we're not going to answer that one. Fuck you.
Was it bad?
It was bad. It's real. I'll tell you what it was after we're done streaming. But Anyways,
Did you delete it?
I didn't delete it, but like it's in response to my tweet. But I'm not gonna
Oh,
put
I
it
see
on the.
it.
I'm not putting
I'm
it on the
looking at it,
cast.
Julian. Julian, don't do that. Come on. I saw your comment. Don't do that. You gotta respect Whammon. You remember? You know that meme? Respect the Whammon.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Pullover Podcast. Joe, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure having you. This is a really interesting discussion, and I found out a lot of stuff I did not think I would.
There you go. Anytime.
Yeah, of course,
Anytime.
man. Thank you guys for coming out. I hope I'll see you guys next time. This will hopefully be up on the Pullover Podcast channel tomorrow. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you should do that. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, you should do that. Give Joe a follow too. He's an interesting guy. And also subscribe to Pullover Podcast because there's only like 14 subs and it needs more. I will see you guys next time.